I had them as a sweep at one point.
Yeah, you did. You kept
nothing
preaching
worked
in
out.
4, and then you went to 5. Remember
Nothing worked out. I was
Ah,
at a rough little Torontonian homer betting.
The Get Better podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants. Please remember to gamble responsibly.
welcome to Get Better Sports for May 17th. An exciting week this week. We're back on golf, second major of the year, PGA Championship down in Southern Hills. We're going to hone in and focus a little bit on that today. I'm here with Troy Gubb. Gubby, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, bud. I'm doing good. I could be a little bit better being a Torontonian. Tough time, but you know, I've had a few days to, mourn the loss. We're moving on, and we got an exciting week ahead.
Yeah, and so the loss. Can you elaborate for our listeners in Germany?
Yeah, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, the hockey team that we live and die by here, once again has been eliminated from the playoffs in a Game 7 perfectly.
How many years in a row?
Well, they said it's
6?
the only team 5 years of straight
5?
elimination do or die games, like for what do they say, win and go home games.
Yeah.
So like when both teams are, coming to that final game, we've lost 5 in a row, and it's never happened before.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how they cannot get it done. Like I can't figure that out. I don't know why they can't win a Game 7. And you know that the thing was when it went to Game 6, they went back to Tampa Bay with a chance to win. I said they have to win this. If they don't win Game 6, we're in trouble in Game 7. Sure enough, Game 7 can't get it done yet again. It's like
back-to-back years, Game 6 to close it out. We went to overtime and didn't get it done. Like it's just, it's storybook. But again, the losing makes the win that much sweeter. The team will grow. They'll learn. They'll be back next year, hopefully with a few tweaks. And
let me ask you a question. As a fan, how excited are you to see them play again next year? If they keep everything status quo the way they are right now,
I don't think they can afford to keep status quo. There's got to. I don't know what the cap is. Probably goes up a little bit, but I think you got to find a way to add a little bit more toughness. I will give it. I've been very clear on my criticism of Austin Matthews. He actually did start to impress me a bit. I was very, very candid about him being a regular season player.
Mm-hmm.
He's your champion. I know he's your heart. And I thought he always lacked a little bit of heart. Straight up, if we're talking just about our bet, I think I was pretty much just took it to you. McDavid versus Austin Matthews point wise. What a beautiful guy to watch, McDavid. Oh, yeah.
No question.
Fantastic.
There's something about McDavid when he has the puck on his stick. He is the most electrifying player to watch. No question.
The best player to ever play hockey, period.
Wow.
Period. Because I have to be with the speed that he plays at, with the skill he plays at. If you were to take that and just drop it in 1985, he would put up 400 points.
Yeah, I know, but the game's evolved so much since 1980.
I still think you can never go back. I never ever think a person in the past was the greatest of all time, because naturally
someone's going to come along. The game changes. There's evolution
in every part of life. So eventually, yes, you get better in that. To say, am I excited? I need the Leafs to add a little bit more toughness, though. That we need another. I just want a big banger, like a big old forward.
Like a little more truculence.
I need a guy that just wants to pick up the garbage in front of the net, slap it as hard as you want at me. I'll take it and tip it in, and just get dirty down there.
What I will say is, I think that series got better as it went along. Yeah. Like the series really wasn't that great. The beginning of the series, I didn't think the hockey was very good. Like one team showed up, the other didn't.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember which game was it Game 4 or 5 where I really thought both teams kind of showed up and the hockey got a lot better. And that was kind of when you saw the most evenly matched series you possibly, I think you could see. Maybe you'll see in the playoffs, truthfully. So, and I agree with you, no question. Connor McDavid, he's the best player in the world. He is the best player in the world, no question. Austin Matthews had an incredible year. I give him full credit for what he did in the playoffs. Him and Mitch Marner showed up this year. They played much better in the playoffs.
They did.
The fact that I think Austin was second in hits in the team says something. Said something about the passion, how much he wanted. He's willing to change the game, willing to do what he needed to do to have an impact. So I give him full credit for that. No question. I will say Connor McDavid.
He shouldn't have to be the second biggest in hits, though.
No, he shouldn't. You're right.
We should have a guy. We should have a big guy that should do that.
But he's a big body, and I think he still should throw the body around. Maybe not, doesn't have to be second, but I think he should still throw the body around. But I also think I'm not sure that Edmonton should have let the series with LA go as long as it did. Probably.
A little bit of shaky goaltending I found in a couple of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, Calgary shouldn't have let that go 7 either. They were
no way. How many? The number of series that went to 7 was impressive.
Crazy.
In the first round.
Shows the parity of the league, though. That's the big question. Is like, look how close we were to going on. So you don't want. It's not wholesale changes you need to make, but I want something.
Who do you move? If you got to move somebody, who do you think you move? I know who I'm saying.
Who?
I think you got to move. Yeah. I think you got to move somebody with value to get some value.
He's too skilled and too young. Like, I feel like he makes some mistakes.
Yeah.
A little bit of laziness here and there, but then he does something that's pretty cool all of a sudden. Like,
when he has the puck in his hands, he's bound to do something. And there's definitely a ton of attention when he's got the puck on his.
What do you think he can get the most for though? Like, and what do we need? Right? Do we need a goalie? Or is it a forward? I felt like our D was okay.
What were you going to do? You're going to sign Campbell?
I don't know.
I was hearing 5. I was hearing 5 for 5. 5 million years.
5 years? Did you say 32?
I know. It seems crazy.
My God. I mean, if he can go get it, if he wants, he's got to go get paid. I don't think it's here. I don't mind bringing in. I don't mind bringing in a vet near the end of their career at this point. We'll see.
Yeah.
Wish we had something coming up in the minors. Like, do we have no scouts looking for goalies out there?
Yeah.
No idea.
So we've talked a lot about hockey. We are going to jump into the golf, but let's just wrap up hockey quick. Let's couple questions. One, Battle of Alberta. It's going to be great. And I hope it's like good old fashioned hockey. Yeah. Like, I want to see physical series, tough one. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Good for Alberta.
It better be. Yeah. So great for Alberta. What's your prediction on the Battle of Alberta?
So if I'm betting with my heart, I really want Edmonton to win. I'd love to see McDavid get his cup, but I've had Calgary as my Stanley Cup champion from the start. I think they're just so well coached. Just the way they played Dallas, they were all over. If they didn't have that goalie, there was this thing wouldn't even been that close. Like, they were all over them. I just really enjoyed the way they played, and I'm siding with Calgary on this one, but I really want Edmonton to win. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm kind of torn on who to cheer for. And it's funny, like, my son asked me, like, Dad, who you cheering for? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know who to choose in this one, because it's tough. I think it'd be great to see Connor continue to go deep in the playoffs. I think in order for Edmonton, Edmonton is going to have to play the way they played in the game 7, where they absolutely took it to them. The pace, in order to keep pace with Calgary, they're going to have to play the way they played in game 7 against LA, because it was not, in my mind, that game 7 was not even close. Right. Like, and I watched majority of it. And if it wasn't for Jonathan Quick, who kept LA in it for the most part, that game would have been out of hand because Edmonton was all over them. So if Edmonton can come with that, I like it. I'm worried about Draisaitl and the injury, the ankle. I don't know what that's going to look like. We'll see what comes with that. But yeah, I hope it's one. I want it to go 7. I want it to go deep. I think it'd be a fun one. I still think Calgary's probably maybe the better team there.
Yeah. I think they got the better goaltending too. So to wrap this, I'll give you one question, and to our listeners out there, question, and please comment down below. Based on Calgary and Edmonton being left in the playoffs, is the cup finally coming back to Canada?
Yeah. Well, if I stick by what I said in the last podcast we talked about it, I had Calgary winning it. So I like to think it comes back to Canada. And I like to think Calgary, no question, they're going to be in tough against Colorado. But I don't know. The thing that worries me about Colorado is now they've sat for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so they might lose the first one, or they got the rest.
Yeah. Or do you get the rest? Can you keep the momentum going? I don't know. It's tough to see. But I think I
feel like they take the first game. Colorado takes the first game, and then they'll lose the second. Then it becomes a series.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with St. Louis. But again, St. Louis is a team that knows how to win. It's kind of like the Tampa effect. Tampa knows how to win. Right?
Tell us what you think. Comment down below. Is the Cup coming back to Canada? I believe it is. So does Luke. Yeah. Let's go.
I like to hope so. Also believe that the Leafs are going to win in 7.
I had them to sweep at one point.
Yeah, you did. You kept preaching in out. 4, and then you went to 5.
Nothing worked out. I had a rough little Torontonian homer betting. My homer betting has really cost me over the last. Let's move on. We got a big weekend ahead, Luke.
Big weekend ahead. And you know what? Weather's turning here in Toronto. It's nice out. Golf courses are open. Beautiful. No excuses to not be on the golf course. And what a great way to kick off this long weekend for us here. Then the second major of the year, the PGA Championship, down in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Heard it's rather windy there.
Yeah. So
look, what are we dealing with, Luke? Tell us a little bit. What are we dealing with on the course?
Yeah, let's start a little bit with the course for the record. Yeah. Never been to Southern Hills, not been there, but done some reading, a little bit of research on the course and what you may want to consider when you're thinking about your picks and thinking about guys and some of the stats and things that you need to consider in relation to the golf course and the way it's set up and how it's going to play. So Southern Hills Championship Golf Course in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is playing 7,400 yards. Now, those tees will move every single day, but on average, roughly about 7,400 yards and playing to a par 70. This golf course will be massive. This is a big boy. This is a big boy golf course right here. Now, the unique things about the golf course and things to keep in mind is, and there's a couple stats that will hone in on what we think makes a lot of sense. But first and foremost, with regards to the golf course, being so long, you would naturally think, okay, you got to maybe target the bombers. Not necessarily the case, because you're talking about Bermuda rough in Oklahoma this time of the year. They can't grow it out, won't grow it thick. So you miss the fairway here or there, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to be hacking it out of thick rough. The biggest stats that I think you need to key in on for this weekend, knowing that this golf course is a second shot golf course. And truthfully, this stat is one that you're going to focus on pretty much week in and week out on the PGA Tour. Strokes gained approach. And the second stat that I'd really focus on is strokes gained around the green. You miss these greens, which are tiny, you're in big trouble and you can put up a big number. So you need guys that've got strong short games. You want strong iron play. And if you can combine that with guys that can hit it deep off the tee, you're probably in pretty good shape. Putting, obviously, again, it's bent grass on these greens. Been a lot of comparison to almost like Augusta in terms of what it'll be. They'll be quick.
I heard that.
They will be quick. So, I mean, that's kind of where you're looking. And the other piece which you commented on was the wind. And in the redesign of this golf course, they removed some trees, which open things up, and you'll get some of that wind down there that could play an impact. There's been a lot of comparisons to this playing maybe a little bit more like an open, just being fast. Wind could wreak some havoc there. So those are things to factor in when you're looking at the course this week and trying to figure out, okay, how you want to handicap this with the players that you're looking at, who you want to see.
So it's, I'm always looking to get better at certain elements of betting. And you gave me a great resource to go check out, and it was the Pat Mayo podcast.
Pat Mayo Experience, yeah.
The Pat Mayo Experience. And at first I thought you pranked me. So I'm driving home in the car, and for the first half an hour of the podcast you recommended, I'm sitting there listening to some guy talking about types of grass, wind, and measuring different elements of the course. And I'm like, are you trying to make me crash on the DVP? Like, it was the most boring 25 minutes of my life listening to this. Like, I never even heard of bent grass. Doesn't all grass bend? Like, I didn't realize there were so many different types of grass on the course, but it did get into the meat of it after, the weather guy left. It was guy was talking about windy and this. I'm like, it was enough. And I know he's probably some big deal too, right?
It was Troy Martin, who happened to be Stephen Ames' caddy, who created the yardage book for Southern Hills. Knows the golf course like the back of my mind. So that's why I felt like, hey, this might be a good resource for you. Have a little listen, because this guy knows the golf course like the back of his hand. He created the yardage book for it. Yeah. Right. So I figured this might be a good resource. Yeah, it went deep into types of grass and what to expect.
It's a little deep, like, cut the grass. Like, come on. I thought I was listening to a lawn maintenance podcast.
That's what you said.
I was just like, is this for Weed Man I'm listening? Like, am I listening to the Weed Man podcast here? It was a tough goal, but honestly, I'm so glad I did it, because it got into it and it gave me some good indication of what I should be looking for in my picks for next week. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about who you're looking at, or who you're
let's talk about a couple.
Can I just make one comment first of all? Yeah, just about golf in general. And I know you are the golf guy here.
Oh boy.
But how ridiculous is the book that they got to carry around? Like,
the
in this
book?
day and age. Yeah, like, why does a golfer, like, what other sport do you have to stop and write your own score down or look into a book? Like, why do I got to carry a book and hand in a book at the end of the day? What's the point? Like, you got a caddy for that. You got all national television that's watching it. It doesn't make sense. It seems really archaic.
You like to make your own notes in there. So notes that remind you of like yardages, things, where to leave it, where to miss it, things like that. So this is a resource for you.
Hey, Siri, can you take this note? Like, where's the technology?
They're bringing their phone and using their phone.
No, they couldn't bring a light phone. Instead, they got to carry like a giant book, a novel.
It's not giant. It's a little.
It's coming out of their big pocket in the back. I'm like, what a sport!
What?
Can you imagine carrying around, like, is there rules in there too? Like, imagine if I had to carry my own score sheet in hockey.
No rules in there.
Hold on, ref. That goal was by me.
They have officials in golf.
I got that one. I wrote it down. I'll hand it in at the end to make it official. It's ridiculous.
They have officials in golf, right?
So it's maybe one of all the sports, the least technology savvy element of it. Like, nothing's evolved in golf. Every bit of golf has evolved. The equipment, the balls, everything. Now, not your notepad. Not your 2-pound notepad you got to carry around for the extra weight.
You're ridiculous.
It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous, that element.
But when you play golf, you keep your score, do you not?
Yeah, like
you keep it on your scorecard.
Yeah, it's a little piece of paper that's this. It's
okay.
Thin, and it flips.
But now
here's the front, here's the back.
Sure, but let me ask you this: if you had a yardage book in there that had all the notes and around, so hey, if I hit it here and I hit it left,
hey, caddy, that I'm paying you 10% of my money.
Yeah, the caddy.
Tell me this.
Oh my
What's the notes you've written down, coach?
Yeah, but every player likes to have their own notes in there too, right? Like, they write their own notes. It's something they reference. And a lot of times too, it's for reading greens, which they were talking about taking it away because at the end of the day, it slows down the pace of play too. So there is some of that. There is that element.
I just don't understand. It just seems a little archaic to have your own. Like, what other sport are you doing that? You go to the dugout, you find a little bit more. But you shouldn't. I guess I just don't carry that. You have to carry it.
Okay.
With you. Like, why are you playing golf sets with a book in your pocket?
How many times have you seen pitchers do this? How many times have you seen pitchers do this? What do you think they're doing there? Just checking
looking at their notes?
They're looking at their notes. They're looking at or they're looking at the signs.
They're getting them now. There's like a recording. Like the back catcher's pressing a button now, and they hear it in their ear. The call. Like, this is what I'm talking about. The evolution. Why am I carrying a notepad? Who carries the pen? Who's carrying the pen?
It's a pen. He has his own pencil.
So he's playing professional sports with a pen?
A pencil.
On him, on his person.
Yes.
What other sport are you playing that you're, hold on 1 second. There actually was when I think it was Joe Horn.
Part of the
Joe
game.
Horn pulled out a pen and signed a football after a touchdown or something like that one time.
No, that wasn't Joe Horn. That was,
I felt like it was Joe
Randy
Horn
Moss did that. Remember?
Can't remember.
Didn't Randy Moss do that?
One of them.
He tuck the Sharpie into the goalpost?
I just want to know, just regular people out there, comment down below. Do you think carrying a book around is a little weird? Like, why can't someone else do that? Why am I turning in a scorecard? What other game do I got to sign a document at the end? Hold on, to make sure this hockey game's official, everybody sign the paperwork.
That's a part of the game, man.
Here, ref.
That's a part of the game.
We officially announced that we have won this tournament, this hockey game. Just doesn't happen. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
I will admit there's elements of golf that the traditionalists need to step down on. There's certain things where I'm like, okay, enough of that. Enough. Like, and I think we've come a long way with some of the attire, which is good, right? Like some of that has changed, but there's some traditions of the sport that are probably we can move on from now. But there's certain that I think make sense. Like keeping the score, signing the scorecard at the end, the whole bit. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. That's just me.
Okay, well, next time I'm going to make you carry a book, bud.
I'll gladly carry a yardage book, and I guarantee you I'm going to have a better advantage of than you will on the golf course. I will. I guarantee I will. And when you ask me,
man, next time we play hockey, I'm sneaking a book in the back of your pads, man, just to carry the extra weight around.
There's no need for it in hockey.
Hold on 1 second. I'm on the bobsled. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me just put my book. I'm just going to slide it in. I'm going to leave my book compartment in the bill of my bobsled. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Who we got?
Ridiculous.
Who do we got, Luke? Who are you looking at?
A couple of things. And I think we've talked about this in the past. Ways to bet golf. Mm-hmm. And what I will say is, with the volume of sports books that have now opened up here in Ontario,
a lot.
And I've shopped around a couple of books, different ones. I really like the options that you're getting from some of the books. I feel like the props are better. They're deeper. There's more options, tons of things to look at. So one of the other things that's unique about the PGA Championship, and that's why I was going on about the books, I'm teeing this up a little bit here, is one of the things that is unique about this championship is the cut line is 70. Traditionally, I believe in regular tournament, it's 60. It's a U.S. Open 65 or 60. I can't remember. The Masters is 50. That's the cut line. But it's 70. The cut line is 70 including ties, I think it is, in the PGA Championship. So
why is that?
And truthfully, I don't know. It's probably good. We should maybe look that up and see why that is, but it's always been 70. It may have something to do with the fact that it's a bigger field. And I know you've got PGA professionals. So you actually have PGA professionals who have qualified for this tournament. There's a couple different ways. So Masters is invite only. Yeah. PGA Championship, you can qualify for the PGA Championship. And I believe you qualify for the PGA Championship. And then there's the US Open and the maybe I have that wrong on the PGA Championship. We might need to fact check that one. But the US Open and the Open Championship, those are open, meaning you can go and qualify. Anybody can go and try to qualify to compete in those tournaments. But it's the unique thing about the fact that the cut line is 70 is you've got a higher volume of players making that cut. One of the things that the betting options that I like to look at for this is to make the cut. If you're going to make the cut or not, are they going to make the cut or are they not going to make the cut? It's an interesting one to look at here. Field is, yes, a little bit deeper and larger, but you've got 70 guys making the cut. I think you can find some value there and build even like a nice parlay. You get 4 or 5 guys you believe are going to make the cut, find some with value and build out those options. So that's one way of betting that I particularly like. I like looking at who's going to make the cut, who's not going to make the cut. I think the other one is you look at the tournament matchups where they take 2 players and put them head to head, who's going to have the better score over the course of the tournament. I think you can find some value through those if you look at recent form and look at some of the key statistics and who's matching up against who. It's another way that I like to bet it. And then I like the outright too. I like just to pick a group of outright winners. I like to look at the top sort of portion of the odds and say, who do I think is coming out of here? I'd like to pick a couple in the middle that I think can contend. And in the middle there, those are ones where you might do some each way picks where it's like, hey,
that one,
where it's like pick to win, but then also pick to come top 5 or top 10. And then I don't mind throwing a little bit of money on some flyers, some deep down where you.
I got a good flyer for you today, sir.
Can hardly wait. Deep down, who you think could have a chance. Are they going to win the tournament? And certainly, are they going to win a major? Probably not. But those ones are always fun to pick on because you might get some deep value out of those. And again, those ones are also good to look at, those each way picks. Do they make the cut? High value. Do they finish top 10, top 20, depending on the book that you use and how they want to break those down. And those each ways basically take the odds and divide it. So a quarter or 1/8 or whatever it is of the odds, depending on if you're looking at a top 5, top 10, top 20, top 3, whatever it is. So why don't we just focus on the outrights? Like, let's just talk about who we like, who we think is looking good for this weekend. And like I said, there's a couple things that I like to focus on. So if we focus on some of those stats, if you look at statistics for strokes gained approach the green, there's a couple names that jump out right off the top. Some big names here. Number one, in terms of, and this is looking at just the stats for the 2022 season year to date, is your boy.
I love it.
Willie Z.
Already placed a bet.
Yeah.
Each way.
Yeah.
Love him.
Outright and each way.
This is the first one. This is the, he's the guy right away. As soon as I heard that stat and the importance of that in this particular course, immediately I was on him.
Yeah, and I actually like him a lot this week. Again, knowing that you're going to need great ball strikers, he is a phenomenal ball striker. Short game, decent touch. The biggest question mark for Will Zalatoris is, can he putt? The putter, and truthfully, I don't think he's a very good putter. But for whatever reason, he can putt at Augusta on the bent greens, right? So similar putting surfaces here. They'll be quick. They'll be slick. Similar to the Masters. So maybe he has a good week with the putter, the flat stick. So I like Willie Z a lot. I'm big on that one too. A couple other ones that jump out here. Victor Hovland is another one who's just trying to crack that major. Interesting one here is Shane Lowry. And I like this because there's a lot of comparisons to this playing like an Open Championship with the wind. Yeah. What that could look like. And Shane's had some decent form. He's been not bad. So he's one to look out for. Justin Thomas, who's naturally going to be there. Colin Morikawa, Daniel Berger. Luke List is one that's deep down on the list. And a lot of people would say, why would we look at Luke List? Luke List he could drive to the golf course. This is a home track for him. So that's one there where it's kind of interesting. He's got that comfort of living at home, being at home, not on the road, knows the area well. I don't know. That's one that you might throw a little something on deep down there. I don't know what his odds are. We should probably pull up some of these odds to look at them. So that's looking at it from the strokes gained approach. If you jump down to around the green, when you're trying to find those combinations of players, there's a couple here that kind of jump out you might want to look at. Rory Mcilroy's he's high ranked in terms of strokes gained around the green. He's ranked 14th overall. Joakim Neiman is another name that jumps out at me. I look at really closely there.
Luke List was 137.
137-1. Yeah. So a lot of value there. Do I think he wins the golf tournament? No. but maybe one to look at, see if he's
The
matched
each way?
up head to head or an each way. Yeah, potentially an each way too. I like that. So all of that said, there's a few guys that are jumping out at me that I really like. First one being Cameron Young. And Cameron Young, I think, is a guy you're going to get a ton of value on. He's got 4 top 5s this year, and his last 2 starts is a T2 and a T3. So he's got recent form. Nice. And I just think that the way he's trending plays really well. I think he'll be a heavy favorite. Not a heavy favorite. I just think he'll be a popular pick this year for this tournament. And we're trying to find some value. The other one I like is Sam Burns. And yes, he had a miscut at the Byron. He had a miscut at the Masters. But I just really like his game. I think he's got an incredible short game. He's going to win a major eventually. I just feel like that's coming. So I like Sam Burns. Who else did you have on your list? Let's save who you think's going to win the tournament. I want your number one pick at the end.
At the end? Okay. So I had the picks I'm going with: Victor Hovland. I'm looking at Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas. I have my number one, and then my wild card, my deep wild card. Sometimes, Luke, it's important to, think of what's going on in society and figure out who's that person that just meshes so well with what's going what's going on in society right now. And sometimes you just see a name like a horse race and you think, that's my pony. That's my guy. Luke, what movie's coming out next week that a lot of people from our generation have been waiting for a while?
Top Gun.
Top Gun. If I had aviators, Mark, you threw on some aviators on me right now. The guy I'm looking at when I was scrolling through the list based on name alone, it's his time. Coming up right after the weekend, Maverick Mcneely. Top Gun.
Maverick
each way.
Wow. Okay.
Maverick Mcneely.
You know
His
what?
stats ain't great.
No, but
I don't like him.
But if you look at what he's done this year,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's just have a quick look at what you've done.
He was 32. He was, minus.
Yeah,
16.
So he was T7 at the Genesis. He was T46 at the Players. He had a T35 at the Valero, T26 at the RBC, a T32 at the Byron.
Maybe it's a sign that he didn't even get to go to the Masters, but it's just his weekend. If there was ever going to be a weekend where his name value would carry the most weight, it's this one. Maverick Mcneely.
Yeah.
My boy.
We'll see. We'll see. He's 62nd in strokes gained approach to the green, and he's 124th around the green. So God bless him. If he misses greens, he could put up some big numbers. And this is a golf course that will punish you if you miss greens. And those greens are not big. They're pretty tiny. But hey, I appreciate the Top Gun reference for sure. Man.
It's like, highway to the danger zone, I'm sure is in our social club right now.
Well, we'll see what young Maverick can do.
How does Maverick like to do his putts? He's got the need for speed.
So bad.
Terrible.
It's so bad. It's really terrible.
That's the worst joke I've ever said in my life, I think. That's the most embarrassing joke I've ever come up with.
Such a dad.
Who do you got?
So outside of Maverick, circling back to your other picks, I think all serious contenders. Dustin Johnson can win this golf tournament for sure. He's got the distance. I mean, can the putter show up for Dustin? Can the putter show up for JT? That's another question too. Outside of that, Justin Thomas is arguably one of the best ball strikers on tour, and can make greens, but can he make putts? Is the putter going to show up? Victor Hovland, again, I really like Victor here. Stats show well. Form's been decent. Can he get over the hump and win a major is the question mark. So I like all those picks. And you wouldn't be wrong with any of those. Who did you give me your winner? You're out.
Do you want my winner? You want a good one?
Oh, wait. Do you want to? Let's wait to the end. So
Wait.
So I said,
we'll put this together for you.
A couple guys I talked about was Cameron Young, Sam Burns, a couple guys that I'm looking at there. Jordan Spieth is interesting to me. Recent form has been good. Similar to what I just mentioned about Justin Thomas, and probably the same for Will Zalatoris as well. But will the putter show up for Jordan? Right? Like it's been a bit streaky, but he's turned his game around and it's coming around. And I think he looks good, decent coming in this tournament. It's in his home. It's close to home for him. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I like Jordan here a bit. I'm having a hard time trusting Jordan with the putter. And if he can get it done, but the storyline around Jordan is the completion of the Grand Slam, career Grand Slam. He just needs the PGA Championship. Is this the week he does it? Is he trending well enough towards it to get it done? We'll see. So Jordan is an interesting one for me to watch. I'm on the fence as to whether or not I'm putting any money behind him just yet. I actually do like Rory here for some reason. I don't know why. I like Rory McIlroy. I want to see him win a major again. Yeah. My question is, does he have the stones to win it? When it matters, can he win it? Right? We saw some like flashes of brilliance in the final round of the Masters. Really exciting to see him. There was a couple of shots down the stretch that I think he needed to make.
What a great way to finish that tournament too.
It was a great way to finish him and Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa is another guy to look at. And again, the biggest thing is if his putter gets hot, Colin Morikawa could easily win this golf tournament. Let's jump into the final picks. My pick to win this golf tournament is Scottie Scheffler. He is the best player on tour right now this season, playing with incredible confidence. The fact that most of the books didn't even have him favored to win, they're still favoring Jon Rahm. Scottie Scheffler is the number one ranked player in the world. I think that's an added chip on the shoulder for him. He's already come out and said this is his favorite. This is one of his favorite golf courses to play. So he likes it. He's going to feel comfortable here. And he played a practice round, and I can't remember. It was in the low 60s recently, and everyone looked at it and said, yeah, this is his tournament to win. I think Scottie Scheffler can and should and will win this golf tournament.
For sure. I've placed a bet on him just as like that safety bet that allows me to go bet everywhere else right now. So he's my break-even guy. He's the one that's allowing me to go get a little wild with guys named Maverick Mcneely.
Yeah. So will you, and before we get to, let's actually, what's your pick? What's your pick to win it?
Willie Z. I know.
That's
I don't know why I'm always going to him, but everything eventually I got to be right. Why not today, Willie?
He's going to win a major. Does Willie Z have it in him?
Does he have it in
him? His first career win to be a major? This could be a tall order.
Oh, man. Imagine my excitement come Sunday where it's like,
could be good.
Coming down the back nine. He's paired up, Willie Z and Maverick Mcneely. Just coming in the back.
There is, I think, zero chance that Maverick Mcneely is in the final grouping. What I think is an intriguing.
You mean you won't let him be your wingman?
Good Lord.
Oh man.
What I actually think is an intriguing pairing for the final day on Sunday is Scottie Scheffler and Jordan Spieth. Storylines there are good. Yeah. Both Texas guys. Scottie's kind of taken over that Texas crown right now. I don't know. There's something intriguing around that. The storyline for Jordan and getting over the hump and winning the career Grand Slam could be interesting.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. We'll see what happens. The only other thing I would say in terms of betting this is while I'm spreading some money around right now, making some picks, doing some things, I always like to leave a little bit in the bank there, leave some bankroll for Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely.
Right? You get a sense as to
know
how guys are doing, what that looks like coming down the
Yep.
stretch. I did that with the Masters when things were looking good, and actually salvaged a bunch of money there with the Masters coming down Sunday. So I like to have a little bit of money there. I think I had Rory to finish top 5 on Sunday, and there was some good value there because he moved up pretty quick, and I made a bit of money on there. So yeah,
you gotta have
I like to have
live
a little bit
betting.
of there.
Yeah, especially if you've done all your pre-bets. This is a great way to fight and go chase it. Like, you really start chasing. That's what the one part I love about golf. The other part is, of course, the only way we can end this thing, Luke, the old pinata pick.
Oh, the pinata.
One of my favorite things we do on this podcast is I bet a pinata pick and you tell me about this golfer because I don't know who they are.
Hopefully I know who they are. Have you done yours yet?
No, I'm about to right now.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull
126 to 1.
Do a little pinata pick.
I'm going to bet $25. Pays
$25.
$3,150 if this person wins. Are you ready? I'm just going to pull up my camera for a second here. Hold on. I want to get this on.
Let's see who you have. I feel like we should have like some Mexican music playing when this happens, when we do our little pinata pick. Yeah, great value here if you can get some decent value.
Who's that?
I said if you can get a decent player, there's unbelievable value.
Ready? Here we
go.
Here we go. Okay, look, here it is. Once again, let's do this. Pinata pick placed. Here we go.
What you got?
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Tell me, Luke, about Brandon Grace.
Brandon Grace. Wow. Brendan Grace. Yeah. So Brendan Grace, I don't think Brendan Grace is winning this golf tournament by any means. That's a bit of a long shot, I think.
Where's he ranked?
He had a while there.
This is like the type of guy, like, would it have been better just to bet him outright? Like, did I get screwed?
Yeah. It'd be good to look and see what his actual, what his value is. But you know what? He played some really good golf. He had a stretch of really good golf where he was constantly kind of in the mix. I don't know what his ranking is right now. Let's just try to pull this up.
Oh my God. I'm just scrolling down the list here. Either I've missed him or
Brandon.
Oh my God. Bud.
What are his odds right now?
296. Like, that was a bad pinata pick.
Yeah. So that's not
if I would have bet him, I would have won 7,400. So, you know,
yeah.
what?
So
I'm just gonna put $10 down there so I don't have to feel so bad. But no, I'm not betting any more money on Brett. What am I thinking? No. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, don't put any more money on Grace. His like recent form, like I said, has not been awesome. He's 180th on strokes gained approach. Short game, he's about 97th. Not incredibly long off the tee. What is his ranking?
He's a dud, man. He's a dud.
Yeah. Not an awesome pinata pick for you.
No. Are you gonna do one?
T50. Yeah, I will. T53 at the Players. He had a T4 at the Zurich, and he had T38 at the AT&T. Look at this. He had his last 3 rounds last weekend at the Byron Nelson. 69, 67, 67. Rounding into form for you. Who knows?
Shaping up.
Great strikes. Yeah. Strikes lightning in a bottle here.
All right, Mr. Grace. Let's dance.
To win? I don't know, man. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm going to place mine $25. Okay. Let's see who we got. Oh, you got to log into the account there first. Sorry, guys.
I'm looking deep here. Like, I'm hoping I want to see a name like, let's see here, Richard Bland. Like, I want to see something really deep.
Richard Bland's not a bad long shot.
Zach Oakley. Holy man, look at some of these long shots on here. Wyatt Wentworth. Worthington. Who the heck is that?
So some of these guys could be they could be the like PGA pros that have qualified. and made it and gotten in. I'm having issues here with the pinata pick.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm just betting a couple $1 on some of these like far down the list guys each way.
Just to see.
Just wasting money right now.
Yeah.
John Daly, any shot?
Okay, here we go. Pinata pick.
Okay.
$25. Here we go. Oh my gosh. That's a nightmare.
Who'd you get?
Jesse Mueller.
Mueller?
Jesse Mueller.
Jesse Mueller. Oh my God. Wow.
What, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he might.
Just so you know, a $25 bet on him, if you bet it alone, what are you getting? What are your odds?
Yeah, plus
132.
12,500. Yeah, so I'm making 3,000, basically $3,100.
So if you would have just bet on him to win, $25 would have won you $62,550.
That's so brutal. He's the men's coach at Grand Canyon University. He's one of those guys. He's one of those PGA pros that made it. That's terrible.
All right, fine. I'm putting $1 on him. I put $1 on him.
Make me feel better about it.
$1. I'm with you there.
I would have been better off just flushing the $25 down the toilet with Jesse Mueller. So
he's the coach. Mueller.
Just a Cinderella story.
Man, just rinsed on that pinata pick.
Like Bill Murray and Caddyshack. Cinderella story. I don't know, man.
Gonna be
always fun to do. Yeah, always
fun
to do the pinata picks. Those were not great pinata picks, but yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. I think this golf course, I think, will be low scoring. So if anyone's at any pools and you got to do that tiebreaker score to win kind of thing, what that scores, I think it's going to be low. If the wind really gets going, par might be a good score.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the podcast for this week. PGA Championship, lots to come up. We'll get back to talking on maybe a little bit Blue Jays baseball on a bit of a slide there. We'll revisit that. I hear we could have some NASCAR in our future.
NASCAR is coming up. I think is it next week?
I don't know.
We have a special guest coming for NASCAR.
Yeah.
Our second live guest on the podcast. Should be fun.
I'm excited about that one. And I know a connection with yourself. We might get some real interesting stories.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We'll dig a little deep on that one.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks a lot. Have a good week. Enjoy the golf.
Thanks for listening to Get Bettor Sports. If you like what you hear and you want to learn more, follow along, subscribe, please share, like, comment, tell your friends, tell your family. It's a great podcast.